Welcome, Sandman Nation. I'm Nate Blackston. This is Brandon Lewis, and we are the St. Louis Syndicate. We're here to talk to you about Survivor. Brandon, still chugging along by the skin of your teeth, man. Talk to us a little bit about this week's success.
This week was great. This was an easy one. I stuck with the Chargers. We talked about the Chargers last week. I didn't talk myself out of it, and they took care of business.
Man, that's pretty
So
critical. You talk yourself out of a lot of stuff.
I do. And I talked myself into some really dumb shit too.
Yeah, we won't talk about that. That's for a whole nother
Yeah.
segment. The
We'll
dumb
cover
shit
that
he can talk to
in
himself.
the NFL side. But look, as we can see here, like, unless you were crazy enough to bet on Chicago, your week turned out pretty all right if you had any of the big guys left.
Which I even
So
mentioned Chicago last week, which is why I'm not still alive, because I would have been like, oh, maybe this is a place to take Chicago.
oh
So
man,
obviously
Drake
you
May is
quit.
going to be a weird problem.
Yeah, gonna.
He's be one of those dudes that like I he's going to win some weird games, even though that New England team as a whole is just not to be trusted.
Yeah, but I think they might be improving a little bit. They're clearly are showing that there may be a team that can keep it close. So when we're talking about spreads, especially outside of the division, um, we talk a lot about divisions, and I'm going to talk a lot more about divisions when we get over into our NFL preview.
That's
But
for sure.
New England's one of those teams that has never been necessarily tied to the traditional divisional piece, right? They had so long where they were with the Tom Brady faction and they kind of transcended the normal betting. Where now they've been so bad, once again, they're transcending the normal betting. They'll bounce back. They will bounce
Yeah.
back, and I think that we're seeing that a little bit. But that's not really what anybody's tuned in for. You're here to hear what Brandon thinks for this week and what you think I know, so you'll pick opposite of me. Um, Thank you, Survivor Sandman Nation. This week, I think we broke a record, Brandon. We have 50 different viewers checking out our Survivor.
Hey, that's
Let's
pretty
try to
nice.
get it up to 75 over the next couple of weeks,
Absolutely.
and
The
we'll.
Survivor gets serious when you get down to this second half of the season.
Oh, this is big time, right? People are in
Start
it for
trying
money.
to
You're alive
take some
now.
advice from anybody.
Yeah, who knows what they're talking about? So let's take a look at this week's games. What do you think right here? It's very clear on this page what we should be doing, but is that how you
Yeah.
believe?
D- Detroit at home against Mac Jones feels like a slam dunk. And you can look out here across, the rest of the weeks when you talk Detroit, you go, if you haven't used Detroit yet, where are you going to use them? Do you want to use them in division, playing Chicago? Maybe. But the rest of those are all below 75%. So for me, I got Detroit left. We're going to Detroit this week. I'm going to find it very hard to talk myself out of that, especially since I'm staring at some numbers in one of our key contests. And I got the minus 12 and a half, and we're up to 13 and a half. So I'm already feeling frisky about laying those points and just watching that new rusher that Detroit picked up. Hopefully just wear Mac Jones like a pair of pants for 3 hours.
I'm sure he will. It's not hard to wear Mac Jones with like a pair of
No.
pants. It'll
So
be
that's the hope.
red Bama colored pants, plaid pants is what I can see them trotting around out there in Detroit. I'll tell you, Detroit seems like a Michael Jordan slam dunk, man. Just right there, behind the back, put it in,
Yeah. It's
slam dunk.
scary, right? Because you
What
start
if
getting
I
into
already
those
used
numbers.
Detroit though, Brandon? What if I already? All right, I mean, because Detroit's a favorite, and we were
Right.
scared in week 3, right? Because we
Uh-huh.
barely survived, and I had to use Detroit to survive in advance. I don't have Detroit. Who's next on the board?
Look, here's the rules for me. I try to stay away from division games and
Okay.
away from being on the road,
Yep.
right? So, unfortunately, that kind of leaves me staring at Miami, right? Because I
Unfortunately.
yeah, I do not have a ton of trust in Tua, who tried to make another tackle with his face on Monday night.
Oh my God, could you believe that? Stuck his
I
head right in that guy's knee.
the audacity of somebody with brain damage to just go, I'm going to tackle this guy with my neck.
I got brain damage, so I'm gonna go
And then Tyreek is banged up because Odell
slam.
clotheslined him during a touchdown celebration. Like, these guys are wild. But Vegas has problems on their hands, and they're going to come outdoors, and they're going to come down to Miami, and they got to play. And I'm definitely not laying 7.5 points with Miami. I'll tell you that much.
Uh,
But they would be the other one that I would be staring at.
yeah.
When we look at San Fran and we look at
No San Fran. No Green Bay.
and yes, in Green Bay, interdivision, like that's risky stuff. And same with Houston. Houston, not in division, but they got to go into Dallas, and we know how football works, right? Dallas is the worst team. Jerry doesn't even understand how the sun works. Yada yada yada.
Oh, the
Dallas,
Cowboys suck. Pick
like
Houston.
Dallas, Dallas is going to scare some people. This is not going to be Houston winning by 22. This is like, if Houston wins, they are going to win by less than 7.5. And you're going to
Yeah.
have to sit there and go, it's Monday night. I'm trying to relax from going back to work. And now I got to watch this chaos. So this is just kind of how it goes down. Like, you can do it. This is the time. If you haven't used Houston, let me check here real quick.
Tennessee's
I
next
don't
week.
know.
That's
If it's me,
interdivision.
you get Tennessee next week. Like, I got thoughts about that. Like, that's interdivision, but at least you're at home.
Yep.
And,
Well,
Tennessee
then
doesn't.
you're breaking one of your rules. You just told the Sandman
Nah,
Nation your rules, and you're going to break it.
uh, I, I, I'm not going to say I would break it, but I'm saying if you're going to do it, hey, I got to take it one of these 2 weeks. That I got thoughts about next week over this week. But,
Yeah.
it is one of those things, if you've got Minnesota left, unfortunately, you got to go on the road to Tennessee. But it's one of those ones. Sometimes you get stuck in a hard spot.
I
But,
mean, back road trips, just almost got beat by Mac Jones.
yeah, yeah.
You're going to
You
be
got
in.
those weird pieces there.
They're going to be in Nashville. They're going to be down there playing dueling banjos.
Yeah. It gets slim once you get past Detroit and Miami.
Yep.
Like, there's a lot of core rules against the rest of these teams. Um, and sometimes you just got to take a shot, right? If you've used the favorites already, and you're down to those, 10 to 18 ranked teams, you got to make the best decision for yourself. But if you need a long shot, I go uh Rams.
Oh, you're going to go on the road
Yeah,
to New England.
yeah.
Drake May just beat Chicago. They're
Hmm.
going home, riding in on their white
Yeah.
chariot, and you're
Rams
going to pick.
lost. Yeah,
Oh,
that's the one.
Stafford's still picking up his teeth in SoFi.
Yeah, that's the one. That's the one that feels right against the rest of these.
Ah,
Um,
if I had to pick one, it'd be Green Bay because Aaron Rodgers left the keys to the house to Jordan Love, and they own those guys. So after Chicago's, you know, debacle last week, I'm not certain Green Bay doesn't just steamroll them.
they
But
might.
It is interdivisions, but I would pick Green Bay over the Rams. Once again, folks, though, those of you tuned in to listen, you want to pick against me and with Brandon, and that's the plays for the week. Good luck, guys.
Good luck, everybody.